Good morning everyone. So in today's class we will be starting with the new chapter, that is arithmetic progression. So coming to the what do you mean by arithmetic progression? So as you know, there are three branches of mathematics, that is arithmetic, algebra and geometry. So arithmetic is that branch of mathematics that deals with the study of numbers. And what do you mean by progression? Progression is nothing but a series or a numbers in sequence or order. So when these two terms are put together, we get an arithmetic progression. So coming to the definition of arithmetic progression, an arithmetic progression is a list of numbers in which each term is obtained by adding a fixed number to the preceding term except the first term. So an arithmetic progression is nothing but a list of numbers. It is basically a list of numbers in which each term is obtained by adding a fixed number to the preceding term except the first term. So what do you mean by preceding term? So preceding term is nothing but the successive term. So each term in this particular sequence is obtained by adding a fixed number to the preceding term except the first term. Okay, some of the examples for arithmetic progression are the first one 1 2 3 4 5 6 and so on. So here we have added 1 to the first term. So we have just added 1 to the first term, so that we have got 2 here, and again we have added 1 to the second term, we have got 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. Again 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6 and so on. And similarly for example 2. So for the first term we have added minus plus 1. So we have added plus 1. So minus 8 plus 1 is nothing but minus 7. And similarly for minus 7 plus 1 is minus 6. Minus 6 plus 1 is minus 5 and so on. So similarly for examples 3 and 4. So in examples 3 we have added 50 to the first term and got the preceding terms. And in the fourth example we have added nothing but 0. 3 plus 0 is 3. 3 plus 0 is 3. So this particular fixed number that we add to the rest of the numbers except the first term is known as the common difference. This fixed number, that what we have added here, right? So 1 plus 1, we have got the second term as 2, and 2 plus 1 and the second term is 3. So we are go on adding 1, right? So this fixed number, that is in this case 1, this fixed number which is added to the preceding terms except the first term is called the common difference. So except the first term, so we have added nothing to the first term. It is already present. We have added nothing to the first term, and hence we have only added to the preceding terms to get the next terms. So this fixed number which is added to the preceding terms is called as the common difference. And remember that the common difference can be positive or negative or 0. So for example, here we added plus 1. The common difference was 1. 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus 1, 3. So the fixed number was plus 1. So it might be positive, right? And here in this case we added 0. It can also be 0. So 3 plus 0 is 3. 3 plus 0 is 3. And it also can be negative. So the common difference can either be positive or negative, or it can also be equals to 0. So I hope what do you mean by the term arithmetic progression and what is the definition of arithmetic progression is clear, and what do you mean by common difference and what are the properties of common difference are clear. So moving on to the next topic. So now moving on to the generalization of arithmetic progression. So let us denote the first term of an arithmetic progression by A1, the second term of an arithmetic progression by A2, the third term of an arithmetic progression by A3, and so on. The nth term of an arithmetic progression is denoted by AN. Let D denote the common difference, that is that fixed number we add to the terms except the first term to get the subsequent numbers is known as the common difference. And let D denote the common difference. Then the arithmetic progression becomes a1, a2, a3, a4 and so on up to an. So let us consider this as equation number 1. And we know that by subtracting the first term from the second term, we get the common difference. So in the previous example, we had numbers as 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So by subtracting the first term from the second term, we had got the common difference. So we added 1. So 1 plus 1 is nothing but 2 and 2 minus 1 is nothing but 1. So on subtracting the first term from the second term, we get the common difference, that is that fixed number which we added to get the subsequent numbers. So in general we write it as second term minus first term, second term minus first term, and third term minus second term, third term minus second term, fourth term minus third term equals to d, and so on up to a nth term minus a n minus 1th term gives the common difference as d. So since the RHS of all these equations is equals to d, so I will write it as a2 minus a1 equals to a3 minus a2 is equals to a4 minus a3 and so on up to an minus 1 is equals to d. So in general, for an arithmetic progression a1, a2 and so on up to an, we have the common difference is calculated as d is equals to an plus 1 minus an, that is the n plus 1th term and considering the nth term. So subtracting the nth term from the n plus 1th term gives us the common difference. So I hope until here it is clear. So we have just taken, first we have just denoted the first term by a1, second term by a2, third term by a3 and the nth term by an, and let d denote the common difference. Then the arithmetic progression is given by a1, a2, a3 and so on up to an. Consider this as equation number 1. And since we know that the common difference is obtained by subtracting the first term from the second term, we have written a2 minus a1 equals to d, a3 minus a2 equals to d, a4 minus a3 equals to d and so on up to an minus 1 equals to d. And since the RHS of all these equations are equal to d, I will write all these terms directly equal to d, that is a2 minus a1 equals to a3 minus a2 equals to a4 minus a3 equals to and so on up to an minus 1 equals to d. So in general, for an arithmetic progression a1, a2, a3 and so on up to an, we have the common difference can be found by subtracting the nth term of an arithmetic progression from its n plus 1th term, where an plus 1 and an are the n plus 1 terms and n terms respectively. So we can conclude this particular equation number 1 as the general form of arithmetic progression, but there is a slight confusion. Why? Because in this equation number 1 we cannot see what is the common difference, that is we need to write the common difference separately. So general form is something that which represents the total arithmetic progression wholly and solely. So we need to represent each and every terms that are related to the arithmetic progression. So in that we studied common difference also, right? So here the common difference is not visible in this particular equation and we need to write it separately. Hence this is not considered as the general form of arithmetic progression. So now let us deduce what is the general form of the arithmetic progression. So now let us take a1 is equals to a, a2 is equals to a plus d, a3 is equals to a plus 2d, a4 is equals to a plus 3d and so on. So now substituting these values in equation number 1. So now let us see what happens. a1 is nothing but a, a2 is nothing but a plus d, a3 is nothing but a plus 2d, a4 is nothing but a plus 3d and so on. So here we can observe the common difference as well as the first term, right? So this is now known as the general form of the arithmetic progression. So in this general form of the arithmetic progression, this particular a is considered as the first term of first term of an arithmetic progression, and D is considered as the common difference. So the first term of the arithmetic progression is represented by small a and the common difference is represented by small d. So this is how you generalize a particular arithmetic progression. So I hope you are clear with this generalization. So if you have not understood it, just go through it again, and if still you are not able to understand, means you can contact me. So now moving on to the next topic. So now moving on to the types of arithmetic progression. So we have two types of arithmetic progression, that is the finite arithmetic progression and the infinite arithmetic progression. So as the name itself suggests, if an arithmetic progression has finite number of terms, then it is called a finite arithmetic progression, and if an arithmetic progression contains infinite number of terms, then it is called as an infinite arithmetic progression. So for finite arithmetic progression, some of the examples are: example 1, that is the numbers, set of real numbers from 1 to 10. So here we have a finite number of terms, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, so on up to 10. We have the last term as 10, and hence it contains finite number of terms, and hence it is an example for finite arithmetic progression. Second example, all even numbers less than 10. So what are the even numbers less than 10? 2, 4, 6, 8, right? So these are the 4 numbers which are less than 10, 4 even numbers less than 10. Hence we have an end here, that is 8 is the last term, and hence it is an example for finite arithmetic progression. And also the third example, all odd numbers less than 20. So we know that 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19 are the all odd numbers less than 20. So we have a last term, that is 19, and hence we have finite number of terms, and hence it is also an example for finite arithmetic progression. And what do you mean by an infinite arithmetic progression? It's up reverse. So if an arithmetic progression contains infinite number of terms, then it is called as an infinite arithmetic progression. So such arithmetic progressions does not have a last term. So it contains infinite number of terms. So we do not have a last term for these type of arithmetic progressions. For example, set of all real numbers. So we don't know what is the largest real number, right? So we cannot end it there. So the set of real numbers is an example for infinite arithmetic progression. And also as the set of integers. So there are so many integers, we don't know which is the largest or which is the smallest integer, right? So there are infinite number of terms, that is integers. So hence the set of integers is also an example for infinite arithmetic progression. So I hope what do you mean by finite arithmetic progression and infinite arithmetic progression are clear. So moving on to the next topic. Now moving on to the necessary conditions to identify an arithmetic progression. So what are the necessary conditions to identify that a particular sequence that is given is a arithmetic progression or not? So is it sufficient to only know what is the first term, or is it only possible to identify an arithmetic progression by just looking at the common difference? No, right? You need both. So the necessary conditions to identify an arithmetic progression are: first one, you have to know what is the first term of an arithmetic progression. So without knowing the first term of an arithmetic progression, you cannot add the common difference and obtain the preceding terms, right? And hence you need to compulsorily know the first term of an arithmetic progression. And after that, the second one is you have to know what is the common difference of that particular arithmetic progression. So only knowing the first term is not sufficient. you have to also know the common difference of that particular arithmetic progression. Then only you will be able to write the given arithmetic progression or identify the it is an arithmetic progression or not. So let us consider a simple example. So if the first term of an arithmetic progression is 8 and the common difference is 2, then arithmetic progression could be written as, so you need to write the arithmetic progression. If the first term is 8 and the common difference is 2, so you know that the general form of the arithmetic progression is given by a plus d, a plus 2d, and so on. So first write down what is the general form of an arithmetic progression. It is a plus d, a plus 2d, and so on up to a plus 3, and so on. So for the first term is 8, and just you have to go on adding the common difference. So 8 plus 2, 8 plus 2 into 2, plus 8 plus 3 into 2, and so on. So this implies 8, 10, 12, 14, and so on. So how do you conclude that it is an arithmetic progression or not? So just check the common difference. So 10 minus 8 is 2, 12 minus 10 is 2, 14 minus 12 is 2, and so on. If you go on with this sequence, you will be getting the common difference as 2, and you have the first term as 8. So that is what we had required. The first term of an AP must be 8 and the common difference must be 2. So this is how you write an arithmetic progression with the help of the first term as well as the common difference. So I hope what do you mean by the necessary conditions to identify the arithmetic progression topic is clear. So if you have any queries, you can contact me. So in today's class, we studied what do you mean by arithmetic progression. So what is the definition of arithmetic progression? What do you mean by the first term? What do you mean by the common difference? And after that, we generalized the arithmetic progression, that is the generalized form, that is a plus d, a plus 2d, and so on up to, right? And after that, we studied the types of arithmetic progression, which is finite arithmetic progression, which contains finite number of terms, and second one is infinite arithmetic progression if the arithmetic progression contains infinite number of terms. So the only difference in finite arithmetic progression and infinite arithmetic progression is that in finite arithmetic progression you will be having in finite arithmetic progression you will be having a last term, but in an infinite arithmetic progression you won't be having a last term. The series goes on and goes on and goes on, it never ends. So such type of arithmetic progression is called as infinite arithmetic progression. And after that, lastly, we studied about the necessary conditions to identify an arithmetic progression. So only knowing the first term won't help you to identify the arithmetic progression. You also need to know the common difference. Hence, the two conditions to identify the arithmetic progression are, first one, knowing the first term of an arithmetic progression, and the second one is knowing the common difference of that arithmetic progression. So I hope this class was clear. So this is a very important chapter and most of the applied questions are asked from this chapter. So we will be going a bit slow with this chapter. We will be solving every applied question on this so that you will be perfect on this. And if you have any queries related to today's class, you can contact me. Thank you.